Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to part 2 of our series of videos focusing on eerie crimes that happened at rest stops. If you haven't seen part 1, be sure to check that out first. We'll leave a link in the description below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this. It really helps us to continue building the channel. With that out of the way, here is part 2 of 3 eerie crimes that happened at rest stops.
On the morning of November 18, 1985, 67-year-old Dexter Stefonek set out on a 2,000-mile road trip. The journey was one the retired paper mill worker had made many times since the passing of his wife Vivian the previous year, from his son's farm near Corbett, Oregon, to his home in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Though Dexter's son told him he should stay longer, he said that he was anxious to get back and planned to complete as much of the 30-hour drive as possible. Instead of stopping at motels or hotels, Dexter said he would pull into rest stops whenever he needed some sleep, and was perfectly fine taking short naps in the back of his brown 1984 Plymouth Horizon. It turned out to be a fateful decision. Just over a day later, his car was found engulfed in flames at the Bad Root rest stop off Interstate 94 near the small town of Glendive, Montana. When authorities managed to extinguish the blaze, the mystery only deepened. Though it was quickly determined that the burned-out vehicle belonged to Dexter, he did not appear to have been inside at the time of the fire. In fact, there was no sign of him anywhere. The local Dawson County Police began investigating the disappearance immediately, learning that Dexter had last been sighted at a gas station in Park City, Montana, roughly 3 hours away from the rest stop where his car was found. By early December, they had concluded that foul play was almost certainly involved in the case. The vehicle fire was determined to be an arson and had been started after someone had doused the back seat of Dexter's Plymouth Horizon in gasoline. At the same time, police announced that they were searching for another vehicle in connection with the case. Though there was some initial confusion about the details of the vehicle, it was eventually described as a white four-wheel drive Chevrolet pickup truck with a blue body stripe equipped with a white hardshell camping topper. The description of the vehicle was given by 2 key witnesses who were at the Bad Root rest stop that day, whose statements would help establish a timeline for the case. The first witness, Frank Siegel, worked as a janitor at the Bad Root rest stop and arrived sometime between 8 and 8:30 a.m. on November 19th. When he got there, he spotted the pickup truck, but didn't see anyone else around, and quickly got to work. The second witness, Clyde Mitchell, was a highway maintenance supervisor, and was in charge of checking in on the rest stop from time to time. He arrived roughly 15 minutes after Frank and also noticed the pickup truck. However, unlike Frank, Clyde found the vehicle to be suspicious. Despite the fact that no one else appeared to be at the rest stop at the time, the owner of the pickup had chosen to park fairly far away from the rest stop's main facilities. The area consisted of a large parking lot with a sprawling grass area that had room for more than a dozen 18-wheelers and several dozen more cars. When Clyde went in for a closer inspection, he noticed that the bed of the truck covered by the topper contained a large amount of clothing and bedding, suggesting that someone was likely living inside. However, no occupant was in the vehicle at the time. The last thing Clyde noticed was the truck's Arizona license plates. He would later say the plates stood out to him because it was a brisk November day, and it had crossed his mind that anyone from sunny Arizona would likely have been cold. After his inspection of the vehicle, Clyde asked Frank if he knew anything about it. Frank said that he did not, and that it had been parked there before he arrived. With more stops to make that morning, Clyde left shortly after. Sometime between 9 and 9:30 a.m., Frank spotted a car pulling into the rest stop. He said that he believed it was Dexter Stefonek's. However, the description he gave of the man behind the wheel of the car was nothing like Dexter at all. This man appeared to be at least 20 years younger, did not wear glasses, and was 6 feet tall, whereas Dexter was only 5'6". According to Frank, the man exited the vehicle and proceeded to take out a couple of jugs of gasoline, some of which he poured into the mysterious pickup truck. Frank reportedly asked the man if he needed any help, but the man told him he was fine. Frank left the rest stop a short time after, while the man was still there. Dexter's car was discovered on fire less than an hour later. By that time, the pickup truck was gone. Based on the statements provided by Frank and Clyde, police speculated that Dexter had been abducted sometime after arriving at the Bad Root rest stop on the morning of November 19th. They believed that the perpetrator had driven Dexter's car because his own vehicle was out of gas, and had torched it to get rid of any potential evidence. However, a major piece of the puzzle was still missing. Where was Dexter Stefonek? Authorities would get their answer a few months later when on March 8, 1986, the body of an elderly man was found under a mattress at a private landfill roughly 7.5 miles away from Glendive. The body was discovered by a couple who frequented the area for salvage material, as the wife was an artist. In addition to the body, the couple also discovered a wallet with Dexter's money and identification inside, as well as his suitcase containing clothes and additional cash. Some of the clothing had been scattered around the area, but it was believed that these items, as well as the remains, had all been at the landfill for several months. Despite this discovery, it took more than 2 weeks for authorities to officially declare that the body of Dexter Stefonek. Investigators were not able to track down dental records for him, which delayed the process. It was only after x-rays were taken that showed a healed broken bone which matched up with an injury Dexter had sustained earlier in life that police were comfortable enough in making the positive identification. An autopsy revealed that Dexter had been beaten and had died from 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Unfortunately, authorities were not able to determine the caliber of weapon used, as bullets had been broken up too much upon impact. However, other clues at the scene were more helpful. Because none of Dexter's cash or belongings had been taken, investigators were able to rule out robbery as a possible motive. Based on the location of the dump itself, they also suspected that whoever had killed Dexter was likely familiar with the local area. The dump was fairly out of the way and was mainly accessed by a dirt road. Based on this evidence, investigators outlined their main theory of the case: that Dexter had arrived at the Bad Root rest stop sometime early on November 19th, and that the unknown man in the pickup truck had already been there. At some point, the man had killed Dexter and used his car to dispose of the body as well as to pick up gas for his own vehicle. After that, he had torched the Plymouth Horizon to get rid of any evidence. This theory was corroborated by a further clue. When police had first put out the car fire, they noticed that the driver's seat had been pushed back much further than it would have been if Dexter had been the last one driving it. This seemed to match up with the statement given by Frank Siegel, who described the unknown suspect as being several inches taller than Dexter. One other bizarre thing worth mentioning is that a short time after the discovery of Dexter's body, a piece of graffiti showed up in one of the men's bathroom stalls. It read, "Hot Jock shot wad from Wisconsin, 1185, Saturday the 3rd. Though it has never been determined what, if any, significance this has to the crime itself, it has spawned several theories over the years, the most notable of which is that Hot Jock could be a CB radio handle, perhaps that of the unknown killer." Sadly, after the discovery of Dexter's body, the investigation mostly went cold. Updates continued periodically, but all of these leads soon fizzled out, such as when police announced that Clyde Mitchell and Frank Siegel agreed to undergo hypnosis to attempt to recall more information about what they had witnessed. In that instance, Clyde did manage to recall what he believed were the first 3 numbers of the mysterious pickup truck's license plate, but investigators were never able to track it down. Interest was renewed in the case yet again in April of 1989, when the television program Unsolved Mysteries did a segment about Dexter's murder. According to police, the program generated a few more phone calls, but no substantial leads. Sadly, it appears that little progress has been made in the investigation ever since. The case was officially reopened in 2012, but as far as we could tell, this failed to unearth any new information. There was initially hopes that trace evidence could be re-examined with modern technology, but appears that much of the evidence, such as the clothing that Dexter was wearing at the time of his death, has either been lost or disposed of over the years. The best remaining piece of evidence continues to be the mysterious Chevy pickup truck, though given its age, it's possible that the vehicle has been off the road for some time now. It seems that all we can do is hope that new evidence will somehow emerge in this case, whether that's previously undiscovered witness testimony or a confession from the suspects themselves. Hopefully, this tragic and chilling mystery will one day be solved.
Do you know of any other cases like this that you think we should check out? Tell us about them in the comments section below. As always, if you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest releases. Thank you for watching.